करुणापूर्णसुधाब्धे कबलितघनविश्वरूपकिरणावल्या अरुणाचलपरमात्मन् अरुणो भव चित्तकञ्जसुविकासाय ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम् कर्म किं परं कर्म तज्जडम् कृतिमहो दधौ पतनकारणं फलमशाश्वतं गतिनिरोधकम्. So we started with the first verse yesterday. Karturajñaya prapyate phalam. What have we seen there? What is prapyate? What is prapyate? Is gained. What are the gains possible? The gain of what you don't have and the gain of what you think you don't have. And that, if it's a gain of what you don't have, the means is karma. And if the gain is of something that you already have, then you don't need to gain it. Then you only need to recognize you are already the possessor of what you want to possess. Does that help? So somebody says, what is the use of something which I don't really gain anything? So we ask, suppose you went to the hospital because somebody told you you're suffering from cancer. And then they did a second check and a third check and told you you have no cancer. Do you feel good about it or not? Does it give you relief or not? What has been told to you? Has anything been created? Has anything been destroyed? What has been done? What is has been told, and that can solve a problem. So understand that the thinking is, without action, nothing can be gained. Therefore, for any gain, what do you need? You need to do something. If you don't do, there's nothing to be gained. Examine whether I think that way too. See, somebody thinks it's not a problem. If I identify with that kind of a line of thinking, it's a problem. And note, for what is not there, if I want, knowledge is not the means. Equally important. Equally important that you note that what has to be gained by knowledge has to be gained by knowledge alone, and what has to be gained through action has to be gained through action alone. They are two different things. You cannot say, I don't need action unless you have outgrown the need for action. This is a huge problem. Wherein people think, I'm studying Vedanta, and therefore what? Jnanena eva mokshaha. Correct. Very correct. Therefore what? Until now I went to temple, now I'll stop that also. I don't need to do any karma, no puja, no sandhyavanam, nothing I have to do. What? I have to just sit and know. You can't even sit. That will be the reality. If you can sit and not be distracted, then perhaps you have a lot of pura sukritam, a lot of good punya you have with you. But we have to be very, very cautious to this trap. Vedanta should never make you averse to Ishvara, should never make you want to turn away from a temple. It should make you see the temple everywhere. That's the difference. Until now, you need a temple to go and pray. Now, anything can become an altar. That should be the transformation that Vedanta brings. Otherwise, it is Devanta, not Vedanta. Okay? Just two words have got flipped. We don't want Devanta. Okay? We want Vedanta. So now, prapyate. Kim prapyate? Phalam. What is phalam? Phalam is that which is gained and that which is subject to deterioration constantly. So anytime you see a box of fruits being sent, what does it say? Perishable. What does it mean? It will perish. If not today, tomorrow it will perish. What is any fruit? By etymology, Visharane, it is perishable. And in every perishing, something new is also born. But what is important is whatever you try to hold on to will perish. And anything you want to gain will also perish. So, do you want to gain something which will perish, or do you want to gain something that won't perish? If you want to gain something which won't perish, then it cannot be something which you gain. Because what you gain in time will be lost in time. If you think knowledge has to happen, that knowledge also will perish in a way. So I'm saying, Swamiji, knowledge also perishes? Tattvamasi Vakya, Mahavakya, that will also perish? It will. It is only Kshanikam. Every vritti is Kshanikam. Then what will remain? Whatever has to remain will remain. What cannot go will remain. That is what is Achala. That is called Achala. What you cannot go away from, try going away from it, you still can't go away from it. You don't have to hold on to Bhagavan. What you cannot let go is Bhagavan. It's a completely different way of understanding, okay? So a meditation should be, meditate. What is not Bhagavan? If you understand correctly, your meditation will be, you will be frustrated because you can't find anything which is not Bhagavan. You know Hanuman's story? He received a mala, a very expensive mala from Sita Mata. What did he do? He wanted to find his Rama in it. Each pearl breaks it. What are you doing? Such an expensive mala. If Rama is there, it's worthwhile. Otherwise, what is there? Looking for Rama. Story is to show what's really valuable is Ishvara. Right? And where is Rama? Where is Rama? Is Rama a person? Is Rama a historic figure? Rama is the one who you revel in. Ramante asmin niti Ramaha. Whatever you revel in, that joy is Rama. Now where will you go? Looking for Rama. Rama has to be discovered here. Atma Rama. Atma Rama, Ananda Ramana. That is what it is. That is Atma Rama. Therefore, understand the implication of the word phalam, just that much. Now, from what do you gain phalam? From karma. Karturajnaya, don't leave it for now. Prapyate phalam. From what? Karmana. Okay? Now, what are the first two words? Karturajnaya. What is ajnaya? By the order, by the will. Whose will? Kartuhu. Kartuhu ajnaya. Kartuhu shashti. Kartri. Kartri means what? doer, an agent of action. So, who is the agent of action? So somebody told me once, what? When I do an action, I am the one who decides what the result will be. Kartuhu ajnaya. He knows Sanskritam very well. He has studied. So he says, Kartuhu ajnaya. Kartru means what? Doer. Right? Therefore, by the doer's command, by the doer's order, by his wish, he gets a result. Sounds right? Or no? Do you decide the outcome of your result or no? You make an effort, you do something. Do you decide the outcome? If you could, what would you do? What would you do? You don't need to do anything. You just wish to be happy and it's over. Any wish you make, it will be fulfilled. Right? And this man was arguing in a class for 20 minutes, saying karta means doer and I decide what you get. This is what happens when you try to study something without understanding what the implications are. See, the tradition is, Shankara says, asampradayavit murkhavat upekshaniyaha. Upekshaniyaha means must be ignored. You must be indifferent to the fellow. To whom? To somebody who's an upstart, who says, I know, and I know by myself, I figured it out. If you figured it out, we better stay away from the guy who figured it out himself, because what he figured out in this matter, I'm not talking about some, making some new recipe that you can figure out. But if you say you figured out this truth, you're in trouble. Don't trust a guy who says, I figured it out. You know what Shankara says? He says, I am a sampradaya with. Sampradaya means a teaching tradition. A tradition. Samyak pradiyate anena. Or asmai. Sampradaya. What is given very well? What is meaning given very well? It is given until it is well received, without loss. If it's given and what you receive is with losses, then it is not really given. You only received what you wanted to receive, what you thought you received. But what should be received is not what you necessarily receive. So what is sampradaya? When it is given and you ensure that what is received is absolutely in full fidelity with what is given. And Shankara says, I did not, and it's a teaching methodology, a tradition. So he says, I received this tradition. I did not create it. So understand the importance, because, as I mentioned to you yesterday, when something is not available at all for objectification, figuring it out by yourself is you should understand it is not possible. We should see the impossibility. No, Swamiji, I see sometimes. I do understand I am Brahman. How should I practice? See, the difficulty comes because you think you understand. This is called jnana abhasa sometimes. I'm not saying one doesn't understand at all. There are different problems there, but I'm saying we should be very cautious. Do we really understand? Panchadashikara will say, if you say, Sarvam khalu idam Brahma, just working on sentence, all this is Brahman. He says that is Paroksha Jnanam. Paroksha Jnanam means what? An indirect knowledge. Not knowledge. Really not knowledge, okay? It's just a way of saying, okay, you know something. Because if I tell you, this is red color, and you have to go to your room and figure out its red color, then it's not jnanam, okay? What you're seeing in front of you, you see right now. So paroksha jnanam is ajnanam in a way, but it is called what? Paroksha jnanam. Means you know the Vedas says so. Then what is real knowledge? Aparoksha jnanam. What is aparoksha jnanam? There is no let or hindrance. There is nothing in between you and that understanding. All right? So now this kartuhu means what? It is not agent, true. Kartuhu agent, true. Maker of what? Kasya karta? Karmanaha kartava? Is he the maker? Is he the doer of the action or maker of what? He is not the maker of your action. He is the maker of all that is here. Kartru is sarva kartru, not just your karma kartru. Okay. So those who don't know Sanskrit, kartru means a doer. Okay? Like, teacher, doer, thinker, reader, like this. ER in English you add, in the same way in Sanskrit you add TR, tru. Not ER, TR. So you'll get what? Kartru, bhoktru, mantru, vigyatru, like this you will get. So when you hear any word like that, you should think some agent, kartru. Therefore, what kind of a karta? Normally, a maker and material are different in our mind. Correct? You see a maker, suppose you get a pot, you get only a pot. Suppose the maker of the pot comes with the pot. You know what? You will bring home the potter. And with him comes his wife and children. You will get a whole family, okay? Then you went to get bread. You will get the baker and his family. Right? So how many people will you have in your house? So fortunately, how does it work? The maker happens to be separate from the material. All right? So now, in general, people will acknowledge, if they have some thinking, yes, there must be a maker for this whole world that I see. Now, the fight will be where? What is the nature of this maker? What is the nature of this maker? Is the maker separate from material or not? And generally, most people will say what? Yes, just like the bread is different from the baker, this world is different from its maker. This is not our maker. Because if there is a maker who made the world, we ask one thing. You take anything, any little thing you take this. This is a product made. What is it made up of? Several pages. These pages, were they always there? Where did they come from? From paper pulp. Where did pulp come from? From wood. Where did wood come from? Trees. Where did trees come from? From the earth. Where did earth come from? Huh? You should not give answers which is memorized, okay? You should think and give. Where did earth come from? If you're a physicist or a cosmologist, modern, what will you say earth came from where? Big Bang, everything came. Where did earth come from? Where did moon come from? Where did moon come from? Why is it going around the earth? Hint is right there. Where did earth come from? How did planets come? From any star. The star itself throws out something, right? Where did the sun come from? It came from somewhere too. It's a dying star. Another 200 billion years or something, it will be gone. What will happen after that? Sun also is born. It also has a birthday. Anything which has a birthday didn't exist before its birthday in that form. Correct? Therefore, you tell me now, if the world has to come, if anything has to come, does it need a material cause or not? Anything that is, does it need a material cause or not? Yes. What is the distance between the material cause and the effect? What is the distance between paper and this book? What's the distance? Spatially? 0. What is the distance between paper and pulp? What is the distance between paper and a tree? What is the distance between paper and earth? What is the distance between your body and earth? Is there a distance? No. Comes from the earth, goes back to the earth? Why do you call this I? Call the earth also I if you can. Can you? We don't. This is me, that is him, and that's the earth. But I'm asking you, can anything be away from its material cause? This should be nailed. It's an impossibility. Can you have something without a material? Anything. Is any material coming out of nothing? Can you create something out of nothing? We will discuss that. Even imaginary has a cause. Your imagination also stems from you somewhere, right? Is there an imagination without you? Therefore, somebody asked about nihilism. To say there is nothing, there must be something. You understand the problem? If you say there is nothing, who is saying there is nothing? That fellow exists or not? No, I don't exist. It's like this. I don't talk. I don't talk to you. Is that true or not? I never speak the truth. Is it true or not? I never speak the truth. You have a problem now. If you say I never speak the truth, the statement will become false. If you say I speak the truth, you will have a problem. Language is like this sometimes. But I'm asking you, is there anything? Can anything come out of nothing? And if you're a scientist, if I say something came out of nothing, what will you say? You will run away from this place. Is it not? God created this world out of nothing. Does it sound good? What we call God is the one who makes the impossible possible. Now what do you have to say? Now what do you have to say? Do you agree with that or no? That's not our God, okay? A God who stands against reason cannot be God. The God is the foundation for all reason. That is what Agnya is here. It is that due to which everything is the way it is. Yesterday I asked you, why a mango tree from a mango seed? Why an apple tree from an apple seed? Why this flower is this color? Why this flower is different? Why? Why we are all different? Why? What do you say is the answer finally? You finally say this is how it is. Why is it that way? As I said to you yesterday, if you say this is how it is, then you stop investigating. But you don't. You look. So when you look at the whole world, people are looking into this, cosmology is what? How did this whole universe come about? Big Bang is a theory. It's not like Newton's law. It's a theory. Why is it a theory? Because nobody can verify it. And there can be a better theory coming up. Not the last word. Darwin's theory of evolution. Is that the truth? Are you proud of your heritage? My father lived on a tree. Is that how you feel? May not be. Nobody has given a better theory. Doesn't matter what theory, it's still a theory, okay? Waiting for the next theory to dismiss it. Who knows all these theories? Who knows? Is there a world for you other than what you see? For you? For each of us. Do we see the same world or do we see different worlds? Do we see what is this now? Do you all see flower or not? Same world or different world? Same to some extent. Different in some other ways, right? Because you see, but you see it with your own eye. Somebody may say this is a beautiful red flower, and somebody may say this is an ugly flower. That is your extra value addition. All right? So now, if nothing comes from nothing and a whole universe exists, you have to tell me what is it that existed for this universe to come from. Because you'd find one thing, if you can, tell me one thing which doesn't have a birthday. What is not born? What doesn't begin? What do you mean by what doesn't begin? Anything you see right now, is it seen in time or not? Whether you like it or not, right now when you see, it is a time t. You are seeing this. Is this flower, was it different 1 minute ago? We may not see it, but it was different a minute ago. When will you find out? Tomorrow morning you will know it has shriveled. And what do you say? It's yesterday's flower. Or day before yesterday's flower. What happened in 1 day? It shriveled. Did it start shriveling after 1 day? Your hair has grown. When did it start growing? Yesterday? No. When did it start growing? Baby delivered, does it have hair or not? When does it get hair? Okay. It started getting hair sometime. Where did the hair come from? From the body. What did the mother eat? Hair? No. Because some people have a theory. Like produces like. Means, if there is something, what comes out of it should be the same. Like a dog gives rights to a dog. At that level it is true. All right? But now you get hair, you get skin, you get bones, you get, muscle, cartilage, you get all these things, blood. Where do all of this come from? Different causes or one cause? What's the cause? Dal roti. What you eat. Is that true or not? How did dal roti become all this? Dal roti means, bread and butter. All right, whatever you want to call it. How did it become all this? I will give you as much dal and roti as you want. You produce a baby outside. Or even produce some blood. Why go and create blood banks? Can you? Can anybody? They may try, research, possible. Test tube babies have come. Other things can happen too. But test tube baby comes from what? From a test tube? In the test tube you do something. But where did the baby come from? Did you create the baby? Or did you take the beginnings of a baby and make it grow? You made it grow. Did you make it grow? You plant a seed. Do you make it sprout? Why does it sprout?
The conditions were necessary for it to grow.
Who decided what's the conditions? So the point is, two things here. One I'm saying is, anything in time, let me go back to where I was. Anything in time means it is changing. Anything in time is changing, like my color of my hair, like this flower. You may not see the stable changing, but if you came 25 years from now, you will see it has changed. And if you came 150 years from now, even what we call the biodegradable, one day will degrade. Fire will degrade it, if nothing else. Correct? So everything is degradable, phalam. Then if everything is degradable, what did it come from? From something else which is degradable. What did that come from? From something else that is degradable. Then you tell me, if everything is degradable, then there should be nothing. A depends on B depends on C depends on D depends on E. If E doesn't exist, will you have A? Can you have A? It's not possible. Therefore, there must be an A which is independent. I mean, something which is independent, correct? If I say A is the last point, A is the first point, A, then B, then C, then A must have an independent existence. If not, A is not A. What I call A now is number one. First, the firstborn is not born. You understand what I'm trying to say? What is alone changes and appears differently, like the food alone appears as this body. And it is amazing that the food you eat is one, but you get so many different things happening in this body. And at times, the cell differentiation, whether it's 1 week or 3 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks, you can see what's going on. And if it doesn't happen, you know something is not right. And then what do you try to do? You don't know how to create it, but you harvest stem cells. For what? Because stem cells are those cells which can differentiate, to all your organs. So you have a jaundice problem, or you have a liver problem, you have a problem of your pancreas, diabetic. Suppose the stem cells can become the pancreas again. You put stem cells. What will happen? You will have a new gland. Brain doesn't work. Put some stem cell in him. Suddenly brain will start working. Better than Elon Musk. Point is this. Can you make the stem cell become anything you want to? Still research. But they are not able to produce stem cells. What are they trying to do? Harvest stem cells and then try to see what can we do to make it. What are they studying to make this all happen? How do they know stem cells become all this? By studying. What are you looking at? What already is. Why is it in that form? How one cell became many cells? And once the stem cell has differentiated and become bone, it doesn't become brain after that. Bone cell remains bone cell, right? Why? You don't know. So, firstly, there must be something which exists, and that existence seems to have its own way of existing. Now you bring it to a human plane of thinking. Anything you see, do you really see a flower? What do you see? You see what your mind brings to you. Is that true or not? When will you know this? Suppose you saw something in the dark, something curled, and you said, it's a snake. It's a snake. Then what happens? You want to check what kind of snake. What do you find? It's a pipe, a hose pipe. Now, where was the snake? Was it out there or was it in here? Now you are seeing the rope or the pipe. Where is that also? What you see is only in your head. That's what I meant by saying, finally what you see is what you see alone. Vishwam. What is Vishwam? See, the word Jagat in Sanskrit means that which changes, that which moves. What is Vishwam? That which is known through different thoughts. Vividha pratyaya gamyam. What is known through many and varied thoughts. Your world is your thought world. Is there any other world? You're very worried that somebody you know met with an accident. You're mourning for the fellow. And then what happens? They come and tell you it is a case of mistaken identity, your fellow is okay. What happened to all your sorrow? It vanishes. Why? Because the reason for it was only here. And the reason for it is gone from here. So what do you see? Panchadashikara talks of this. Somebody goes to a battle and you hear the news that the person has died in the war. Then the news comes, no, that was not the guy who died, somebody else died. So one celebrates, one becomes sad. Then the right news comes, another becomes sad, one who became sad celebrates. What changed outside? Nothing. Right? But I'm saying, even for your thoughts to happen, can you see the flower if there's nothing in front of you? I'm not asking imagine. With your eyes you should see. Not with your mind. With your eyes you should see. Will you see? So there must be something for you to see. What is that something? Is it a flower? Is it plant? Is it mud? Mud came from sun. Is it sun? Sun came from the galaxy. Is that? What is it? So we say, we don't see anything which existed independently. Everything you see is born of something else. Is that true or not? If that is accepted, then you have to see that there must be something of which all these are forms. And that something you have to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge there must be something. And that something, the Veda says, is not something which is just material. It is a conscious being. It's a conscious being. How do you understand this? Look at your dream world. Look at your dream world. In your dream world, do you have sun? Imagine. Even right now you can imagine, right? A world. You can imagine the world you like. You know? And you have sun, you have space, you have time. Space-time do you have to imagine separately? You imagine a world. What comes with it? Space-time comes. And you have people, you have animals, you have plants, you have buildings, you have cities, you have everything, right? What is all this in a dream? It's all your thought. There is sentient, there is insentient. All of this is what? Your thought. What is your thought? What is your thought? Where did the thought come from? Where does it resolve? Today's meditation had it differently, just so you can appreciate what we are talking now, okay? Every thought that arises, where does it go? Each thought comes and goes, right? You can see that. Where did it go? Can it vanish? Can anything vanish? Vanish / no trace? No? You write a command, vanish / no trace. It will go away. Will it vanish like that? If you took something and pulverized it, does it vanish? What happens? It's in a form that you don't see. This is called nashaha. Adarshanam nashaha. Lopaha. What is destruction? You're not seeing it in the form that you're used to seeing it. Can you destroy anything? Really destroy anything? Completely. Physics will tell you, take a walk. Because mass and energy are conserved. How do you know mass and energy exist? How do you know? Whole world is for whom? A stone? Does a stone talk of a world? You know, I have been here since prehistoric times. Does a stone talk? Stone is quietly sitting, but you say, this stone is very special. It's from the prehistoric times. That's for you to say. Who says? A conscious being. If mass and energy, which are only known, recognized by a conscious being, have no beginning that you can talk about, and they cannot be destroyed, Where is the question of consciousness being destroyed or being born? Therefore, like in your dream, the whole thoughts, where do they resolve? Into whatever you call you. Correct? And where do they emerge from? From whatever you call you. And in between, when they exist, where are they? In whatever you call you. So what is the truth of all these? You. This is a little dicey, okay, at this point. We'll fix it later. Because one can ask, so there is no world outside Swamiji, that my thoughts are only there? That question can come. I am not talking subjective idealism. What is subjective idealism? I see, therefore it is. Like what? Like the rope snake. I see, therefore it is. Like my dream. I see, therefore it is. Is that how the world is? Is it because you see that the world is? So Swamiji would say, if you want to find out, you sit in a car and travel on the road. Then what happens? You have these nice back breakers, not speed breakers, back breakers. Then what happens? You discover your back is broken and your head also got a bump. Right? You didn't see the bump. But did you get a bump or not? So, is there only what you see alone exists, or what you don't see also exists? You went to the doctor for a check and he told you, you're a little too late, sir. It's 4th stage. Cancer. You didn't see it. Did it exist or not? It exists. So this thinking that I see, therefore it exists, is called subjective. I see you as a person who is the cause of my pain. That is subjective. But there is something which exists. That is objective. It is, therefore you see, is objective. I see, therefore it exists, is subjective. All right? So when I say all that is here is only your thoughts, don't take it literally. Really, you know what? Your thoughts come from where? Let's take it one step further. Your thoughts come from where? In your mind. Suppose you don't eat, drink anything. Can you think? This is an experiment in the Upanishad, okay? There is this Shvetaketu who can chant all Vedas like this. He is brilliant. In fact, he has come back from school with top honors. He is the, he is the best outgoing cadet from the Vedic school. Comes home all puffed up. I am the best. Father says, what's up with you? You seem to be flying too high. So, did you ask your teacher for that knowledge by knowing which everything is as well known? What? Did you ask for that knowledge knowing which everything is as well known? I don't think my teacher knew. If he had known, he would have told me, because I'm the best. Then he looked at father again. Maybe wrong answer. Trouble. Okay. Can such a thing exist? If I study English, I don't know French. If I study French, I don't know German. How can I know one thing by knowing everything as well known? So can such a thing be possible? Father says, yes, it's possible. How? How? What are these? This is my favorite toys, okay? What is this? Pot. What is this? Pot. How many? Count. 1, 2, 3. Correct? Okay. Is there a pot without clay? I'll take the clay. what will you have? Nothing. Therefore, what is this? Is there a pot or not? It's a pot. Where is the pot? Is it on the clay? Is it in the clay? Is there any reality other than clay on my palm? Now, count again. How many? How many clays? Infinite? You will have to make infinite plus 1. You will be in trouble, okay? So the point is, how many? Say, how do you count? 1. 1 clay. Count 2 now. Can you count 2? Who said yes? Okay. If you know what Swamiji will say, how many clays you count? 1, 2, 3, then 4. Okay? You'll have to add 1 more to the count. If you say there are more clays, I will say you add 1 more to your count. Does it make sense? So, do you have any doubt that there is only 1 clay? You have any doubt? No. Therefore, 3 is one way of counting. What are you counting? Visual forms you are counting. I want you to count what is. Because this also came from clay. This also came from clay. This also came from clay. I am asking you, in terms of the reality of what I am holding, how many things do I have? 1. This hand also is what? Clay. This is also clay only, okay? Clay in a different form. Hopefully working clay. Correct? So now, this entire universe must have a cause. And I told you, everything that you see has another cause. Whatever is the cause is not something you objectify. Because the objectifier also has a cause. The subject, the objectifier and the object both have a cause. Where would that cause be? If the cause is one more object, subject remains intact. Therefore, if there is one cause, it must be the truth of the subject. It must be the truth of all that is here. And Veda says exactly that. That is the Karta. Karta of what? The whole world. Means what? One maker material cause. Not 2 separate causes. There is only one cause. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam. Nimitta karanam means maker. Upadana karanam means material. Our thinking is maker and material are different. There is one. Now, all right, there is one. Now, with clay, you are able to make a pot. With copper, you are able to make a wire. Make a wire with this, or make a thin sheet with this. You can't. Gold is malleable. Copper is ductile. You can pull wires from it. And you have now nanomaterials, etc. Whatever. It's all progression within the material world. But the point is, none of them have their existence of their own. How many existences are there? How many clays we counted? How many existences are there? Count. 1 existence, 2 existence, 3 existence, 4 existence, 5 existence. How many existences are there? 1. Existence same. 1, 2, 3 is in existence. That's also, the count also exists. Is that not true? That is achalam. And what is it by which you know? That is Shivam. It is Aruna. Therefore, how far are you from that one source? If there is only one cause, how far you are from it? Is there a spatial distance? Is there a time distance? Is there any other difference? Whatever difference is, doesn't count. Doesn't really count. This is karta. Now you understand a little further. But I see so much variety in the world. I see so many things. And that all is made possible by what? You have a fivefold senses: sight, smell, touch, taste, all these. And you have objects corresponding to those. That itself is mind-boggling. Is it not? That, you have eyes and you have light. If there is no light, our eyes would be absolutely worthless. You have ears, if there are no sounds, that would be worthless. So, do you think these two are coming from two independent causes? They are all one cause. There is one reality, but still it appears in so much variety. And each thing which appears seems to have its own characteristics. Without enjoying an absolute reality, it has its own characteristics. What makes all these characteristics appear? What is the truth of all these things which appear? So the Upanishad says, Bhisha smatvataf pavate. Because of fear of this karta, wind blows. Bhisho deti suryaha. On account of fear of this one, the sun rises. Bhisha smat. What? Agni. Fire burns. Why? If it didn't burn, it would be beaten up. You see, you have to imagine this, okay? There's a king ruling over a country. Whatever he says you have to do. If he doesn't do, what will he do? He'll have a stick. So why does everybody work? Because the king holds a stick. Same way. Why does wind blow? Because there's a fellow holding a stick. Way of looking at it, okay? It doesn't mean there's anybody holding a stick. It's just telling you there's a law. What is wind? Vati iti vayuhu. That which moves is called wind. Why does it move? It moves. Can't have an answer for it. What is taste? What is the fundamental taste? pH 0. Water. pH 7. Sorry. 7 is it? Sorry. Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is there is a tasteless taste. Can I call it that? It's not taste, but that is taste. That's the basis for taste. That is water. So now, you see that the five senses must also have a cause. And it's presented as saying it is 5 elements. It's not that we don't know how to count. Chemistry counts so many, you count only 5. Veda is all outdated. You count and your count will change tomorrow. My count will never change. Because whatever you count, there are only 5 things. 1 for each sense. There is no sixth sense possible here, okay? So the Shastra presents there is one cause, and that one cause is a conscious being, and like in your dream, your entire dream is just your knowledge alone. So also, here too, the entire universe, including you the seer, is one conscious being alone. And that conscious being here is called Karta. Everything there is a manifestation of this one being. Like your dream. The dream is the best example for this. So, look at your book. I'll tell you a page number. Give me 1 second. Okay. Page number is going to be 75. No, 74. No, sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm giving you wrong numbers. Yeah, 76. I'm sorry, 76. Page 76, verse 1. I'll chant, you'll chant after me. Sarvair nidanam jagato hamascha vachyah prabhu kaschidapara shaktihi चित्रेत्र लोक्यंच विलोकिता च पटः प्रकाशो अप्यभवत्स एकः. This is how Ramana presents Ishvara. I'm trying to stay with Ramana as much as I can, okay? So I'll pull what we can. That's why I gave you this book, so I can pull when I need. Sarvair nidanam. Nidanam means the root cause, the basic cause. In Ayurveda also they use the word nidanam. There's a book called Madhava Nidanam. Nidanam means the book of diagnostics. You can diagnose everything. What is the cause for a disease? Because unless you diagnose, you can't treat it. The cause. Nidanam means a cause. The basic cause, the most fundamental cause. Sarvair nidanam. Sarvaihi, by everybody, whoever is using their buddhi, any human being who has a working head on his shoulders, sarvaihi. And here it's talking of people who are philosophizing, who comes up with theories of, what this creation is about, cosmologists. Sarvaihi, jagataha ahamascha nidhanam vachyaha. Vachyaha must be accepted, must be spoken about, must be said. What should they all accept? Jagataha ahamascha nidanam. Look at this. Where do you begin? I. Is there a world without I? Without me? Is there a world for you? Don't say, Swamiji, when I'm sleeping also there's a world. That's after you wake up, imagine there must have been a world. You don't know there was a world when you're sleeping. You can't prove it. When is there a world for you? When you are up. And what is the world you have? The world you know right now. Is there anything more than that? Don't talk of memories. You just talk of what do you see at a point. It's your world alone. Correct? So, what is the center of your world? Who is the center of your world? You. Now, which is more, what stays? The world or you? Even when the world is not, you are. But what do you think? The world bothers you. Right? Anyway, so the point is now, we are looking at two things. I and whatever I objectify. Whatever I call I, the ego in this case, and whatever I objectify. Both of these are born. True or not? It's a daily experience. Every morning when you wake up, what wakes up? What wakes up? Who wakes up? What do you wake up to? You wake up to the world. Before you woke up, there is neither the ego nor the world. So, I told you in the morning today, when you hear, hearing happens. Does the hearer come separately? Hearer, heard, hearing. Instrument of hearing. Can you separate them? Theoretically you can. But what do you call hearer? Who do you call a hearer? One who is hearing. Can you prove the hearer without a heard? Can you prove the heard without a hearer? Can you? No. Therefore, are hearer and heard two separate realities? If it was two separate realities, you should be able to do this. Can you? You can't. Now, extend it. I and the world. I, ego and the world. Are they two realities? Independent? Suppose there was no world. Would you need a word called I? Suppose there was no darkness. Would you need a word called light? Suppose there was nothing tall. Would you need a word called short? You examine the language. Why do you have any word? To distinguish it from something else. Correct? So, would you need a word Jagat if there's only you? Jagat means universe. No. Would you need the word universe? Would you need the word I if there's only universe? No. Both come together and both go together. Therefore, what must be the truth? Whatever is the truth of I must also be the truth of the universe. We are not talking about Atma here, okay? We are talking of the ego yet. But see the logical way, how it's looking. Therefore, in insight that you get in a quiet time is, if you pay attention, this thinking that this and that are completely separate, that thinking should get eroded, at least damaged a little, Wrong thinking should get damaged. If there is one, what would that be? We will come there later. But right now what? What is Ishvara? Sarvair nidanam jagato hamascha. Everybody must exist. That since the ego comes and goes and the world comes and goes, you must exist. There must be a reality which is the truth of the ego and the world that it objectifies. Sarvair nidanam. Sarvaihi nidanam vachya. And what is that? Prabhu. Kaschid apara shaktihi. Prabhu. Prabhu means, can be taken as the one who is illumining, or one who exists as everything. Both possibilities exist. Prakarshena bhavati also can be brought in. So now, and what do you see? See, suppose I see a supercomputer working. What is my imagination about it? So much knowledge is packed into it. Apara Shakti. It can predict the monsoon. Requires huge modeling, supercomputers. You have to employ a lot of computing power to figure out how the monsoon will progress. Or you talk today of modern data centers. So I read, in China, where they are putting data centers now? Under the sea. Because so much heat is generated by these nano chips. How many chips must be in place to generate heat which requires cooling and for which they need water? You take a simple Mac computer, it doesn't heat up at all. M4 chips, M5 now, right? But heat is a problem in electronic design. And I'm saying, if you need water to keep your systems cool, how much computing power do you have? Apara Shakti. I'm just trying to show, what is Apara. Why? Because imagine, anything you ask Google, it seems to know. How much Shakti Google has? Apara Shakti. But who put Apara Shakti into that? This Shakti, this Buddhi. Who put this, who made this Shakti capable? That Shakti we are talking about. We are talking of that which makes this brain possible. Apara Shakti. Unconceivable. Not just this Buddhi. I told you how the roti dal becomes this body. And the same roti dal you feed to a dog, it becomes a dog's body. How? And you put it in soil, it becomes roti dal again. How? How the changes happen? Isn't it mind-boggling? What we know is if you put the seed, you'll get a plant. That's just using what you observed. You have not questioned how. What is this? That what is what we question. Not how, we're questioning what is the reality. And he says, you must accept, everybody must accept, when you see this huge, complex, variegated world, you have to accept, any thinking fellow has to accept a cause. Okay, I accept. But you know what? Like the potter and the pot, why not the cause is separate from the effect? This is the buddhi. This is what gives you theories of Genesis, okay? In India also you'll find Nayayika, Vaisheshika, Sankhya, all these fellows will come. So one fellow says, the world came out of nothing. There's a maker. There's a maker. But how did he create the world? I told you in the morning or yesterday. How did he create it? Out of nothing. Out of nothing he created. Out of nothing what can come? Nothing can come, okay? This should be very clear. If it is not clear, you will fall into the clutches of the wrong guy, because he'll tell you what? Come on, don't you accept God is apara Shakti? Yes. Can he not create something which doesn't exist? Be cautious. Existence cannot be created. You have to see through it. Anything which is, if it is born means it already existed in another form. Apara Shakti is not this kind of Shakti. They will twist. Right? So, and if he is different, let's assume for a minute he is right. Suppose the material is different. Then we ask, who created the material? Because we are interested in going to the bottom. Who created the material? What will he say? Either he has to say material existed, or he has to say somebody else created material. We are looking for the cause. Why not? There are many causes to the world. Why not? Now, you see, we go and eat food in the dining hall. How many causes are there for the food? How many? You need a cook, you need a few assistant chefs, you need people who bring the gas cylinders in, right? You need the gas companies to make the gas for you. You need somebody who makes a lighter, right? How many causes are there? For the clothes you're wearing, how many causes are there? So many. So, if such a simple thing as one roti dal requires so many causes, shouldn't it be natural that the world has many causes? See the logic. Possible or not? Could be. How do you know there's one cause or many causes? How will you prove? Is it available for perception and inference? Question. Can anyone perceive the origin of the universe? You are part of the universe. How are you going to perceive your birth? Can anybody see their own birth? Their own birth, they have to see. Can you? If you can't see your birth, how can you infer about it? And now we are not talking of one person. We are talking the whole universe. Who saw its birth? Nobody. So who can talk about it authoritatively? No one. Which means it is not available for the means of knowledge called perception and inference which you have. Then you have to say what? We don't know how this world came about. Fair. Anything else you say is purely your guess. Guess is a very, very dignified word. I can call it idle speculation or wild thinking. If you say it came from nothing, that is wild thinking. Because if we say, if you can produce the world from nothing, why don't you produce some bread from nothing? You can't. Apara Shakti. How many? How many Apara Shaktis? Only Veda tells you there's only one. And that one Shakti alone is the cause of all that is here. And that one Shakti, therefore, has all the knowledge which makes the fire, because each thing is knowledge. You take clay and you have knowledge of pot, you fashion it in this way. You take a piece of fabric, You fashion it as a sari, you fashion it as a t-shirt, you fashion it as a chudidar, you fashion it all the ways. What is there is only cloth plus knowledge. A material plus knowledge. What is the material of all materials? One existence. What is the knowledge of all knowledges? The same thing, only one cause. For all knowledge, all existence, from the perspective of this Jagat, that is the Karta. Kartu Agnya means it is his knowledge alone, which is unchangeable. Any knowledge you have is gained by observing what already is. There is no knowledge you create. You only uncover ignorance that you have. Therefore, that kartu agyaya prapyate phalam. Karmani eva adhikarahate ma phaleshu kadachana. You only have the ability to be the author of your actions, not the outcome of your actions. Therefore, what? Karma kimparam, karma tajjadam. Next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. सुनाएंगे वक्त होगा तो